Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk about why the authorities are saying basically that you should never send checks in the mail. They're literally saying that the theft of people's money and checks is at an all-time high. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, as well as give you an overview of what's happening in the markets. And if you stick to the end, I will give you a stock that I just bought that I believe is going to do well. So get comfortable, buckle up a seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under the B1 condition. B1 means we are Black first. We do not apologize for this. B1 also means that we educate our kids. It means that we are going to be the most economically intelligent group of people on the planet. And it also means we're going to break generational curses. If you agree with this philosophy, put a B1 in the chat. Everybody, all my B1 people, put your B1s in here. Shout out your city. Sherry Robe is in here. Sherry, can you hear me? How you doing, Sherry and Max and Dre Clark? Good to see you, B1 to you too. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about this conversation and why I'm bringing this up. I read an article today, and I read financial news all day long, every day, all the time. And I saw this interesting post about why basically the authorities are saying that you should not put checks in the mail. I don't know if anybody does this anymore. Most of the time you can send your money in another way, but they're basically saying that the amount of fraud has just gotten out of control. That basically people are getting robbed left and right. The bank accounts, the AI is causing bank fraud to just get really super sophisticated, where they send you notes pretending to be your bank, sending you some sort of credit alert, and it's just kind of a mess right now. And so as I'm trying to pull this article, if I can't, for some reason I can't see it. I find stuff and then I lose it, and then I try to start talking about it. I can't find it when I need it. Um, but anyway, can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. And also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. If you have Spotify, just look up my name, Boyce Watkins, and you will find it there. All right, so let me go ahead and read some of this to you. You may want to warn your grandma about this because I know grandma. You know how grandmas are, baby. I wrote you a check for $2.42. You know, grandma used to do that, and you'd be happy to get that check. Anyway, it says don't send checks through the mail. The post office is warning of this. They say criminals are stealing more than ever. Reports of check fraud have steadily risen since 2020. You know, this is another example of how things have just gotten chaotic since the pandemic. Ever since they overdid it and shut everything down, crime is out of control. You know, I read stories this week about major corporations leaving San Francisco because they said the crime's too bad. In Chicago, where I live, Walmart shut down 4 stores in mostly Black neighborhoods because they said the crime's out of control. I don't know what's going on, but you know, it's so crazy. It's almost like somebody wanted society to just break down. But anyway, they said there were 680,000 reports of check fraud in the U.S. in 2022 compared to 350,000 in 2021. So that's double, more than or almost double. Scamming operations are sophisticated multi-person schemes that banks are monitoring more closely. So they said, don't put that check in the mail. The U.S. Postal Service is warning. Banks issued roughly 680,000 reports of check fraud. Early in the pandemic, government relief checks became an attractive target for criminals. The problem has only gotten worse, and postal authorities and bank officials are warning Americans to avoid mailing checks if possible, or at least to secure a mail drop, such as inside a post office. So if you get something sent to you, get you a mail drop inside a post office. Check usage has been in decline for decades as Americans have largely switched to paying for their services with credit cards and debit cards. Americans wrote roughly 3.4 billion checks in 2022, down from 19 billion in 1990, according to the Federal Reserve. But the average size of the checks that Americans wrote, $673 in 1990 or $1,602 in today's dollars, has risen to $2,652. Quote, despite the declining use of checks in the United States, criminals have been increasingly targeting the U.S. mail since the COVID-19 pandemic to commit check fraud. Checks are still frequently used by small businesses. Eric Fishrun, who runs Fish Tank PR, a 30-person public relations firm in New York, had about 15 checks that were being mailed to him from clients stolen after they all went through the same post office distribution center. 10 of them were successfully cashed by criminals. Let me stick a pin in that. What do y'all think? I think that sounds like an inside job. Anybody agree? Anybody think that it's a coincidence that 15 of his checks were taken from the same postal center? It sounds like you got people that work for the post office who might be hooking up their friends and helping them know when the big checks are coming through and how to access those checks. What do y'all think? So this is a problem. Obviously, fraud is just a big issue. I lock up all my accounts and all my credit cards. I literally lock them all. I mean, I've been hit by fraud, and I'm probably being hit by fraud right now. I just don't even know it, and it's getting ridiculous. And it's really bad when the criminals show up dressed as police officers, meaning that the fraud a lot of times occurs because someone will pretend to be the bank warning you about a fraud. And then they'll say, click on this link to let us know if this transaction's valid. You click on the link, you get a virus on your phone. Or call this number so you can talk to us about your fraud. You call the number, and then they're trying to get all your information so they can break into your account again. So it's really getting kind of messy, and I want to encourage you to be really careful with your money. And one of the biggest rules I mentioned to you guys on many occasions is make sure you keep your money in separate places. Don't put all your money in one location because you don't want to be a mark that can just be hit by one heist. Make it hard for them to rob you. Do me a favor, everybody. Please hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Stick around to the end of this episode, and I will give you a stock that I just bought that I believe is going to do well. And also, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this podcast, MJWest.Solutions. This brother is a veteran. Shout out to the veterans. I'm actually speaking for a veteran, JJ Conway, at her Juneteenth event in Chicago tomorrow. So if you happen to live in Chicago, the information is on my website, BoyceWatkins.com. Then I'll be going out to Seattle on July 8th, so you can find out more at BoyceWatkins.com. MJWest.Solutions is a great company. This brother's into fitness and health is wealth. Black people, we don't just die from the virus. They made you think that the virus was the only thing killing Black people. And I think that that's a disservice to you. The big things that kill you are the 4 horsemen of death. The 4 horsemen of death are cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Those are the 4 horsemen of death. And the way to remember that is CHAD, CHAD, the 4 horsemen of death: cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes. And the way to prevent the 4 horsemen of death is mental health, exercise, diet, and sleep. MEDS, meds. So if you take your meds, you can prevent CHAD. CHAD is the Grim Reaper. He's the horseman of death. And you take your meds and you will keep CHAD away. So give me a yes to let me know that you're going to start exercising, that you're going to start getting plenty of sleep, that you're going to start thinking about your diet, and you're going to start working on your mental health, because I don't want you to die. That's the Dr. Boyce vaccine right there. I believe that, and I ain't trying to jab you with nothing except some knowledge. I'm going to jab you with some prevention. I want to jab you with some higher spiritual operations so that you understand that your life matters. And so I don't care where you're at. I don't care how big you got. I don't care how far behind the curve you are. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, how many years it's been. I'm just begging you to get up, walk around the block, take a couple laps, do a couple jumping jacks, make yourself sweat. Just do something that's going to keep you alive, because I don't need you to be dead, because we know that health is more important than wealth. We've talked about this on this platform. So MJWest.Solutions is a brother that has a great company that helps Black people stay healthy and helps them stay alive. So I hope you'll support that Black-owned business. If you have a Black-owned business and you'd like for me to give you a shout-out on this channel, feel free to go to drboycefinance.com. Michael will take good care of you. Tell her that I sent you. The URL's on the screen, drboycefinance.com. All right, so let me give you a couple more pieces of information in terms of what's going on with the economy, what's going on with your stocks, what's happening with your bank account, and then I'll go ahead and give you my stock pick of the day. The Federal Reserve made an announcement today. The Fed just issued its report on its meeting. The Fed meets. I want to say they meet. I think it seems like is it quarterly or monthly? It's got to be monthly, because I think their next meeting is actually in July. So anyway, the Federal Reserve, which has been the number one variable that's caused your stocks to just go straight to hell over the last year and a half, they had another meeting and they made another announcement as to whether or not they were going to increase interest rates. As expected, the Federal Reserve hit a pause. That was good news for the stock market. You might have, if you were watching today, you saw your stocks kind of went up a little bit, but it only went up for a little while. It went up. It was only temporary. And the reason it was only temporary and then it eventually turned negative again is because the Fed basically said, look, we didn't increase rates now, but we're going to do it a couple more times this year. So the stock market, as what is called a forward-looking indicator, because the stock market looks into the future, the stock market said, so you ain't done yet. Okay, well, let me go ahead and just settle back down and drop prices again until you are done doing all this, right? So in my view, I see this as a buying opportunity because eventually they're going to stop. You know that they're going to stop. And so the next Fed meeting is going to be July 25th. That's the next time Jay Powell and his minions are going to speak, and that's going to be important. You really need to pay attention to that because that's going to affect your money. And also, inflation looks like it's getting further under control. The producer price index came out, CPI, consumer price index, came out a few days ago. They're both favorable. They've both been very favorable, which is good because the big bear they're fighting right now is inflation. That's good for you. That means there's money in the tank that's going to be made by you if you start buying stock right now. Now, if you do like your friends and you start buying stock after everything starts rising because you read about it in the paper, then guess what? You're going to be the one that's late to the party. And this is not a party where it's fashionable to be late. This is the party where if you're late, you lose. So those who show up a day late and a dollar short are the ones who end up a dollar short. So don't do that. Make your move early. Prevention is the key to success, or preparation is the key to success, rather. That's what I tell my kids. All right. So anyway, so I'm going to give you the stock of the day. Before I do that, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Reminder, this podcast is on Spotify. Also, my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So feel free to go grab a copy on Amazon. Last but not least, I have one more sponsor that I've got to throw out here and mention real quick. This is a great Black-owned business that's helping us pay the bills and get things done. We're independent Black. We don't take corporate money. We don't take government money. As an influencer in finance, I'm sure there's banks and stuff out there that love to sponsor this podcast. I don't want to do that because I want to be authentically Black. And y'all know this, unfortunately, Black intelligence can be scary for some people. So we only allow certain companies to even present their brands here. So Dr. Q is a great Black man who is a very respected dentist out of St. Louis, Dr. Quigless, Kirk Quigless. Look him up. And he's got Dr. Q's Fresh Breath Club, which is a place where you can not only buy Black-owned dental products, but you can actually do business with him. You can actually become an affiliate, help sell the products, and get 20% of whatever you sell, and they'll ship it for you. So it's not only a place to get good stuff to keep your breath clean and dental health, but it's also a great place if you're looking for that side hustle to help you make extra money, as long as you have friends who brush their teeth or don't want to have stinky breath. So Dr. Q's Fresh Breath Club is right there. I hope you'll feel free to go take a look at that. All right, so let me give you the stock pick of the day. Here's the stock that I just bought. This is the stock that I believe in. I did some research on it, and I said, okay, you know what? When I go shopping for stock today, this is the company that I want to go ahead and invest a little more in, and that stock is AMD. AMD is a chip maker that is, according to most analysts, expected to also benefit even more from the whole AI revolution. We know what about NVIDIA. A lot of you heard me talking about NVIDIA. I've been an investor in NVIDIA for years. NVIDIA kind of went crazy, right? We made a ton of money on NVIDIA. A lot of people think that AMD could be, I'm not going to say the next NVIDIA, but people believe AMD is a solid company that knows how to make money, that's going to be in a position to do well in the future. In fact, what I'm going to do is try to pull up AMD stock on the screen so we can kind of look at what AMD has been doing lately over the last 6 months. Now, here's the deal. Here's what's interesting about AMD. This stock has already been going absolutely berserk. Look at this. If you were invested, throughout the year, your money would have doubled just this year alone. Look at that, 91%. That's crazy. So 91% ROI in the past 6 months. Imagine if you bought a house for $200K and in 6 months that house is worth $400K. Would you want to buy that house? Would that be a good investment? What do y'all think? Would you be happy about that investment? So here's AMD for the last 6 months. Here it is for the last year, 42%. So you see it had a little bit of a dip. The last 5 years, 679.25%. And see, here's the thing. Here's the crazy part about this. This is not a mystery, people. There's nothing magical about knowing that this was going to happen. If you went back and you were watching, episodes like this, or even other people that knew what they were talking about, They could have told you that AMD was going to be making it rain in the next 5 years. Like way back, way back in ancient Black history, back in what 2018, which is a million years ago, right? They could have said, yeah, I'm going to invest in AMD because AMD is a good company and they're probably going to find a way to make money. So think about this. So you consistently putting money in AMD, you're consistently putting money in Apple, you're consistently putting money in Microsoft. They could have told you that these stocks were going to likely fly, that some of them were going to do extremely well. So I'm sitting here right now in 2023 trying to get you ready for 2028. Wealthy people are people that make preparations in the past to get ready for the future. Well, people do not get wealthy by reacting to the present. Reacting now. It's like you can't practice for the NBA finals the week of the finals. You got Jimmy Butler and Jokic. They weren't preparing for the finals last week. They started preparing, 6 months, 9 months ago, right? So what I'm asking you to do is prepare now. Get ready now. Think about the year 2028. I want you to practice having what I refer to as economic vision. I talk about this in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. This is the magical ninja stuff you're not going to find in any textbook. This is specifically based on the theories I put together for Black people because my PhD qualifies me to do that. With PhDs, we don't read textbooks. We write them. We write the textbooks. We create the theories that go in the books. I was trained by the best in the world on this. So what I want to get you to focus on is having economic vision. Economic vision basically means having the ability to psychologically transport yourself into the future and to value your future as much as you value your present. I want you to see the future as clearly as you see the present. I want you to see way out then as clearly as you see right now. See, the problem is everybody sees right now. And there's a lot of people see the past. They can't stop looking at the past. That's why they can't move forward because of trauma or whatever. Very few people can really look at the future. Very few people were thinking about the year 2023 back in 2016. But if you were the person thinking about 2023 in the year 2016 and you made consistent moves like buying shares of Apple stock whenever you could or whatever it was, then you're probably doing quite well right now. So I need you to start having economic vision. I want us to start living in the future and thinking about what you're trying to build for yourself and your family. Give me a yes if that makes sense. Give me a yes if you're going to do that for me. Give me a yes if that helped you because I really want to help you. I really want to see you grow. I want to see you get richer. I want to see you be smarter, and I want to see you happier. That's the goal of this platform. All right. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I got some food coming. I'm about to eat some food and take a nap. Tonight, I'm going to be interviewing Professor James Small, one of the greatest, most intelligent Black men on the entire planet. He's going to join me on drboycetv.com. It's going to be 8 o'clock. And Rick Mathis, the director of our new movie called B1 the Movie. Rick has made this movie. We're going to make sure 1 million Black people see this movie. We ain't got Tyler Perry money because I ain't going to put on no dress. I ain't going to be wearing a Medea dress. So God, no disrespect to Tyler, but there ain't no dresses being worn here. So we're going to have to do it the hard way. But we're going to get this movie in front of 1 million people. So we would love your help in terms of sharing this and telling other people about it. We're developing a Black-owned film industry, and Professor James Small is one of the stars in this new film coming out, along with Riza Islam and Vicky Dillard and all kinds of great people. Julian Gordon, like the list goes on and on. Julian Gordon is the only Black man I've ever seen in my entire life who can say that he helped Black people acquire $250 million in real estate. There is no celebrity that I've ever seen who could say, no Negro on TV, no person no rapper who could say, I helped Black people acquire $250 million in real estate. Julian has done that, and it's going to eventually be $500 million and eventually hit $1 billion. And when that happens, I'm going to announce it because I'm super proud of him. So anyway, so feel free to join us tonight at drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. Also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. Last but not least, the All Black National Convention is going to happen October 20th in Atlanta at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. If you'd like to join us, it's going to be amazing. Just go to allblacknationalconvention.com and also at my website, boycewatkins.com. There's a great training there called How to Make Money Without Working. And we talk all about how we make a ton of money selling stock options. So feel free to go take a look at that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Take care now. Peace.